You didn't suddenly become bad at flying after 70. The system quietly changed how it treats you. You arrive early, you follow every rule, you don't complain. And still, your airport day feels longer, heavier, and more exhausting than it used to. Then, you notice something unsettling. Passengers your age, sometimes older, are being waved forward. Their bags are lifted for them. Their seats are adjusted. Their connections are protected. No announcements, no signs, no explanations. You assume it's random, or kindness, or luck. It's none of those. Airlines still offer special protections and benefits after 70. They're not advertised, they're not explained, and they're not automatic. They exist inside silent systems, triggered only by the right words, at the right time, to the right person. If you don't activate them, the airline saves time and money. You absorb the stress. In this video, you'll uncover 11 airline benefits hidden from passengers after 70, and why knowing them changes everything. Most passengers believe airline benefits work one of two ways. Either they're clearly advertised or they don't exist anymore. After 70, that assumption quietly works against you. Airlines almost never use the words senior benefits, not because help disappeared, but because the system shifted. Over the past decade, airlines moved away from age-based language and replaced it with function-based and assistance-based systems. On paper, this avoids discrimination. In practice, it makes benefits invisible. What you're actually dealing with are three overlapping systems most passengers never see. First, reservation notes, internal flags added during booking or check-in. Second, airport service codes that control how agents, gate staff, and crews are instructed to respond. Third, agent discretion rules, where help is allowed, but only if a need is clearly activated. None of these systems trigger automatically because of age. And here's the critical part. Passengers over 70 are often the least likely to activate them. You don't want to slow things down. You don't want to ask for special treatment. You assume that if help existed, someone would offer it. The airline system doesn't reward quiet endurance. It rewards precise requests. That's why two passengers of the same age on the same flight can have completely different experiences, even though the benefits are still there for both. And once you understand how these systems really work, everything changes. Number 1, hidden priority. Boarding without status. Most passengers believe priority boarding only comes with elite status, paid upgrades, or military boarding groups. After 70, that assumption quietly costs you energy and comfort. Airlines still allow early boarding for passengers who need additional time, not because of age, but because of boarding pace. This benefit is buried under vague announcements like anyone needing extra time. No one explains what qualifies. No one pulls you aside to offer it. If you don't step forward, the system records you as standard. That means standing in long lines, lifting bags while the aisle fills behind you, feeling rushed while everyone watches. Passengers who activate this benefit aren't breaking rules or cutting lines. They're simply using a policy airlines deliberately stopped explaining. After 70, this single benefit can decide whether boarding feels calm or physically draining before the flight even begins. Number 2, extra time at security without a disability. Many travelers over 70 believe TSA accommodations only apply if you have a diagnosed disability. That's not how the system actually works. Airports quietly coordinate with airlines to allow additional screening time for passengers who may need slower pacing, clearer instructions, or reduced pressure without requiring medical proof. But this accommodation is never announced. It's not written on signs, and agents are trained not to suggest it unless it's requested correctly. If you rush to keep up, the system treats you as fully standard. If you hesitate, appear confused, or move unpredictably, you're more likely to trigger secondary screening, not assistance. That's the trap. Passengers who know how to activate extra time move through security more smoothly than those who try to power through silently. After 70, understanding this difference can mean less stress, fewer bag checks, and far fewer uncomfortable moments under pressure. Number 6, carry-on handling. Assistance without fees. Lifting and managing carry-on bags is one of the most common sources of strain for older travelers, and one of the least discussed airline policies. After 70, airlines still allow complimentary carry-on assistance at the gate and on board. This is not about kindness. It's about injury prevention and liability. However, airlines avoid advertising this benefit because it slows boarding and requires crew coordination. If you struggle visibly, you may already be in the wrong position, blocking the aisle, drawing attention, and feeling rushed. Passengers who activate assistance early often avoid lifting entirely, board more calmly, prevent awkward aisle situations, reduce risk of injury. The system will not offer this help proactively. After 70, strength is not what the airline evaluates. Timing is. Number 7. Meal and hydration priority during delays. When flights are delayed, most passengers assume food and water distribution is random. It isn't. Airlines quietly follow vulnerability-based service priorities during extended ground holds, diversions, and gate delays, especially when catering is limited. Passengers over 70 are often eligible for earlier access to meals, water, and assistance, but only if they're identified within the system as needing stability. Here's what usually happens instead. You wait patiently, you don't complain, you assume supplies will reach you eventually. Meanwhile, passengers who activate their needs early are quietly served first, without announcements or special treatment. Airlines don't explain this because it creates expectations they'd rather manage informally. After 70, hydration and nutrition aren't comfort issues. They're operational safety concerns. The key. Number 8. Rebooking priority. During disruptions, when weather, mechanical issues, or crew shortages cancel flights, rebooking becomes a race most passengers don't know they're running. Airlines use internal sorting systems to decide who gets rebooked first and who waits. Passengers over 70 are often eligible for quiet rebooking priority, especially when connections are involved, overnight delays are likely, airport transfers are complex. But here's the hidden rule. If you wait for public announcements, you're already behind. Passengers who activate assistance early are often rebooked before the gate area even realizes options are limited. This is why some older travelers walk calmly toward a new gate, while others remain stuck in lines that never seem to move. The benefit exists. It just doesn't announce itself. Number 9. Connection protection at major hubs. Missed connections don't always happen because of delays. They often happen because the system stops trying to protect your onward flight. At major hubs, airlines can hold connecting flights briefly, arrange electric cart transfers, coordinate gate-to-gate escorts. But these actions are resource-intensive and never automatic. Passengers over 70 are more likely to qualify for connection protection, especially when distances are long or timing is tight. If the system doesn't recognize your need, it assumes you'll manage, and when you don't, the missed connection looks like your fault, not a system failure. After 70, connection protection is one of the most valuable benefits you'll never see listed anywhere. Number 10. No penalty. Gate. Checking for carry-ons. Most passengers think gate checking a carry-on is a failure or a punishment. After 70, it can be a benefit. Airlines quietly allow no penalty, protected gate checking for passengers who may struggle with lifting, aisle congestion, or overhead bins, without charging fees or treating the bag as voluntary surrender. But there's a critical distinction. If you wait until the aisle is blocked and bins are full, gate checking looks reactive. If you activate it early, it's treated as assistance, not inconvenience. Passengers over 70 who know this avoid lifting heavy bags, rushing under pressure, drawing attention in the cabin, risking shoulder or balance injuries. Airlines don't advertise this option because it slows boarding and complicates logistics. So if you don't ask the right way, at the right time, the system assumes you want to manage everything yourself, even when it works against you. Number 11. Post-flight assistance to ground transport. Most passengers think airline help ends when the plane lands. It doesn't. After 70, airlines still provide post-arrival assistance, including wheelchair or cart service to baggage claim, help navigating customs or long corridors, escorts to curbside, shuttles, or connecting transport. This is one of the most ignored benefits because no one reminds you it exists, especially after a long flight. Passengers who decline assistance on arrival often struggle the most. Crowded terminals, long walks, fatigue when alertness is already low, the airline system does not automatically reactivate help after landing. If you don't request continuation, assistance simply stops. After 70, the hardest part of travel often isn't the flight. It's everything that comes after, and the system will let you face it alone unless you tell it otherwise. Two passengers, same age, same flight. One knows how the system works, the other assumes fairness is automatic. Passenger A doesn't ask. They wait in longer lines. They lift their own bags. They rush through security. They stand during delays. They miss connections and blame themselves. Passenger B uses the same rules, but activates them. They board early without status. They move through security with time instead of pressure. Their seat is adjusted quietly. Their bag is handled without strain. Their connection is protected before trouble begins. No one announces the difference. No one explains it at the airport. From the outside, it looks like luck. Inside the system, it's information. When passengers over 70 don't know these benefits exist, the consequences aren't dramatic. They're cumulative. More fatigue, more stress, more physical strain, more moments where travel feels harder than it needs to be. The airline system doesn't punish age. It punishes non-activation. And the longer you fly without understanding that, the more invisible support you leave unused every single trip. Number 1, who to ask. The system doesn't have one door. Most passengers make one mistake. They ask the wrong person. Airline benefits after 70 are controlled by different layers, not a single desk. During booking, online check-in, airline customer service or accessibility options. At the airport, check-in agents and gate agents. On board, cabin crew, quietly after boarding. Each layer can activate different benefits. If you wait until the plane is full and doors are closing, most options are already locked. Number 2, when to ask. Timing matters more than tone. The system responds best before pressure begins. Ask before boarding starts, not after lines form. Ask before delays escalate, not when frustration is high. Ask before boarding the aircraft, not while blocking the aisle. Early activation makes your request look planned, not reactive. Number 3, what to say. Use functional language, not age. This is where most passengers fail. Never say, "I'm old," "I'm tired," "I don't want to bother anyone." The system does not respond to age or emotion. Instead, use function-based wording. "I may need a bit more time during boarding." "Long distances are difficult for me today." "I need help managing my carry-on safely." "I'm concerned about making this connection without assistance." These phrases match internal assistance categories agents are trained to recognize. Number 4, what not to say. Politeness can cancel help. Silence is interpreted as capability. Avoid. Struggling quietly. Apologizing repeatedly. Insisting you're fine while clearly strained. Waiting for someone to notice agents are trained not to assume needs. If you don't activate assistance verbally, the system assumes none is required and moves on. Number 5, one critical rule. Most passengers never learn. You are not asking for favors. You are activating existing policies. Airlines don't explain these benefits because they slow operations. They require staffing. They cost time and coordination, but they still exist. After 70, smoother travel doesn't come from strength, patience, or experience. It comes from knowing how the system listens and speaking in a way it recognizes. Flying after 70 doesn't have to feel harder every year. Airlines didn't take support away from you. They buried it inside quiet systems and unspoken rules. The passengers who move calmly through airports aren't luckier. They're better informed. Once you understand how airline systems actually work, who to ask, when to ask, and what to say, travel becomes less about endurance and more about control. If this video revealed something you wish you'd known earlier, share it with someone who flies after 70. Because the most expensive travel mistake isn't breaking a rule. It's never being told one existed.